Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and a few days ago I put out a video that detailed the reported spin-off of the main Witcher show, The Witcher Rats, and apparently that is going to be the tentative title for right now. That was just kind of something that people throw around, but that has since been confirmed along with some other information, and this show will definitely be taking place in between seasons 3 and 4 of The Witcher, as we all presumed in its kind of schedule of 1 year main Witcher show, 1 year spin-off type deal that they've been doing for several years now, and we have more information released about it, but real fast, just want to cover what we have before. So this is the article that I covered in my previous video, and it just goes over that it'll be about the rats. Kind of a weird choice considering they don't have a whole lot of story that would warrant a prequel series about them. If it is about them, they're just a bunch of young, violent, Robin Hood-esque like renegades, and they say that they're fighting for, you know, patriotic reasons or for anti-government, anti-authoritarian reasons, but in the end it's more for money and violence than anything. And they're a very interesting group. I love the rats from the books, but them coming together isn't as fascinating a story as you'd think, and probably doesn't deserve its own show. And if it is what takes place between seasons 3 and 4, with Ciri spending her time with the rats, that also doesn't warrant a spin-off, because that is a big part of what book 3 covers. So that should be in what, season 4 anyway. So why do a spin-off about what should be contained in season 4? So either way, I don't think this is a good choice. If I had to boil it down to my thoughts on the spin-off, probably a bad choice of spin-off. I think the Dun banner would be a much cooler choice, but that would be much later in the series when the Dun banner would be introduced for the first time per se into the TV show. So that would be my prior choice, or just something besides the rats. The rats are awesome, but their entire story of note is told within book 3 anyway. And you have a little bit of this information that I was talking about, this cast. This will be Missile on the left. I'm okay with the race swap in this situation considering where she's from, and I'd still prefer her to look Nilfgaardian, and they mostly look kind of like Spain, kind of a little bit darker white anyway, but they are connected to the southern desert, and Zerrikania is close enough that I can see some race mixing going on there. So geographically and canonically, it makes sense. So I'm okay with that one. This guy, he seems a lot younger than he actually is. That's something I said in the previous video, is that he looked too young to play this part, but he's older than he looks. So he might be fine as the character of Kaelin, but whatever. And then these are the other two. I had my thoughts on them. You can watch that other video. But this new information that we have comes from a more recent article from the Redanian intelligence, which confirms the name Rats as the tentative name for the spinoff, Witcher Rats. I don't think that's going to be a great name for the spinoff. I do hope that they rename it. At this point, I really don't care, though, because this franchise is dead without Henry Cavill, and even normies and people who liked this show agree with that statement, that it's dead without him. I thought it was dead a lot before that, but that's mainly from a diehard Witcher fan perspective. But there's some additional information besides that, and they do bring up an interesting point that I didn't in the previous video here real fast, is the speculation on whether or not this will cover Ciri's story with the rats, because Frema Allen is actually currently filming the new Planet of the Apes remake. I forgot that they were even making a remake of that, and I had no idea that she was involved. So I wonder if she's indeed too busy to film this early next year, if she's already involved in that production, and would that signal that this is going to be a prequel rather than covering her story with the rats? An interesting point of conversation to be had of whether or not she will be involved in it. I personally think that she will be. That's what I'm leaning towards. So they might film later, push back the production to match her schedule with Planet of the Apes. But I think it makes more sense for her to be involved, and they wanted to be her show anyway. So this might be a way to ease the audience into the main Witcher show being officially her show with the recast, because unofficially it's been hers and Yennefer since the very beginning. But with this transition from Henry Cavill to Liam Hemsworth, they might be trying to ease you into that full-time Liam Hemsworth just in the background for the majority of it. I'm not okay with that, but I haven't been okay with most of what this show does. And the showrunner is another interesting thing. Apparently the showrunner is going to be a Miss Haley Hall, who is a veteran of the Netflix writers' room, and she wrote episodes 6 of season 1, Rare Species, which was an adaptation of The Bounds of Reason. That one was fine. I don't really remember much about it, so I can't say whether or not that was a good job that she did there. But she also wrote episode 5 of season 2, and that one wasn't good. Turn Your Back wasn't good whatsoever, because it depicted one of the worst breaks from the books in like a cool factor way, because of their taking Yennefer's powers away. She couldn't burn Ryance's face with magic like she did in the books, so they had her spit fiery alcohol at him, and it was so underwhelming. That probably wasn't her choice. It might have been just because she had to figure out something when Lauren Histrich took away Yennefer's magic, but still, that is something that she wrote. She wrote that underwhelming scene. So that is very concerning for me going forward with this woman show running the Rat spinoff. But it is a little too early to say on whether or not she'd be good. My bet is on not, considering the recent information we got from Beau DeMayo, a former writer of The Witcher's Room, where he said that they actively dislike the source material. If she's included in that, yeah, the Rat spinoff isn't going to be good whatsoever, and it doesn't really have a whole lot of chance to be so. And apparently they're going to be filming this show in South Africa, and I'm actually really cool with that because South Africa is a beautiful location, feels very otherworldly in certain locations, and I think that's a very needed aspect of this show, because it's just never had that otherworldly factor. It feels too much like Earth and not medieval Earth in the main Witcher show. I know a lot of people disagree with me, so that's not a actual point of criticism for the show. I think you just need some more beautiful locations, and South Africa might provide it, as long as they still make it look European and Polish to a certain degree, like that Slavic feel to it. I'm all good with that. They filmed some great stuff there, but South Africa, totally fine with that. Some interesting information overall with the casting, with the showrunner. The showrunner is what concerns me a lot. I was kind of hoping that they bring in someone from outside, maybe hire an actual fan. I know, it's crazy wanting to hire a fan, but the spinoff I don't think has any chance of being good whatsoever. The Rats just aren't a good enough source of story to warrant their own spinoff, with or without series involvement, if she has enough time to get away from the Planet of the Apes going forward. But we'll have to see how this all develops. They still haven't even started filming yet, so this is all subject to change, but we'll see how the spinoffs with The Witcher work after the leaving of Henry Cavill, because this will be the first thing that comes out after Henry Cavill's final footage as Geralt is released. So if this doesn't do well, maybe the entire future of the Witcher franchise will be thrown into question. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Anon.
Hey, yo, are you feeling what I'm doing up in here? Oh, I know you are. Do you miss all the good, compelling stories that we used to get back in Hollywood that they ain't putting down no more? I know you missing it. So check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern-day mental illness issues, baby. Book 1, Down in Flames. Book 2, Apocalypse Then. These are currently on sale. What are you waiting for? Get your hands on them. And we got Book 3, Kill the Dark, is coming down the pipeline. Just wait for all the good stuff that's dropping. You ain't gonna be disappointed, fam.